And hello, everybody, and welcome to week 33, I believe this is. The Crystal Crusaders. I am your DM Brad, joined by my players today. Mine is Zach, who may or may not be here. He's online, but who knows. We are just going to go ahead and get started here after this little sort of like 1 week break. So James is in charge of the recap. Whether or not he remembers anything that happened, I guess we're gonna find out when he tries to do the recap.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I'm not even gonna try. I don't remember a thing.
Okay, Mike, you remember, or should we do it together?
Does anybody
like last time?
remember?
It was like we found the fucking ruin. There were mind control mobs.
Okay, that was the ending.
Wait, what? There was?
I remember stone giants. I came into some stone giants.
Okay, first of all, we walked through a town. There were stone giants that collapsed the town when we were moving.
No. That I've done that recap.
Oh right, no.
Yeah.
Okay, then after that, then was we meeting the fire giant and the frost giant fighting. And we were wondering if we're gonna sneak up, but we got busted, so we ran away instead because.
No, that was before the town. Okay, I think we can clearly say we don't know what's going on.
Episodes.
No, but okay. Last session was the one Thor wasn't at, and Thor, were you in the session where the town fell apart?
No.
So I think you're getting
Exactly.
confused because at the end of the session you recapped it to Thor.
Yes.
Oh,
So what happened previously was
right.
basically we're moving into following Lob.
Yeah. And we
he
encountered frost giants and fire giants fighting each other. We tried to avoid them, but we were discovered. So we decided we tried to investigate them, but we were discovered. So we decided to go around them. And with Briork's help, we eventually found the path again, and Lob continued leading us on. We came along like a mountain ridge, or a valley rather, with a town in it. And on the top of this ridge, there were statues that we thought were like there was something off with them. They looked like statues. And then when we walked through this town, there were like ditches that looked like they have been dug and all kinds of weird shit. And the town was deserted. So we, when we were walking through, we heard this weird om sound, like freaking monks, Buddhist monks. And it started like an earthquake. This town progressively collapsed, and we had to basically run a gauntlet out of there, trying to slow down the debris from catching up to us and making a path for ourselves. We got out of there, and when we looked back, these so-called statues got up and walked away, leaving us to, I think somebody made a check to figure out that they were stone giants.
What happened was Lob said it was the mark of the stone giants, and I saw them moving, and
Right.
I knew how stone giants looked, so it's like stone giants.
Yeah, and we then figured out that the grooves and stuff in the ground weren't ditches. They were actually a giant marking of the stone giants that we couldn't see because we were so small and close to it. And then after that, we kept going, I believe, and we ended up on a little bit of ruin. And we further into the ruin, we found stone giants and humans or tribes people or something breaking down the ruins together, basically. And there seemed to be something off with the humans, like they were in some kind of trance. And same with the stone giants, they were just lumbering around as if they were like on autopilot. And then we decided to head out to the outskirts of the ruin to get some rest. And during the night, one of these autopilot stone giants came lumbering past a little bit too close. Alexei woke up, I believe, Sirak, and the two of them investigated it and fell under some kind of spell from the stone giants, which led them to believe that they were like on a party or something, and they walked towards it. And a battle ensued where we killed the tribespeople with their wolves, but the stone giant just on autopilot kept on going past. And I believe that's where we're at now.
There are bears.
Bears, not wolves.
Yeah, so I believe the last time we left off after you guys
Only thing you forgot to say was the ruin apparently Elvish. Elvish ruins.
Yeah, so last time I believe we left off, basically you guys had gotten sort of like interrupted during the long rest. However, after dealing with that little bit, you were able to finish the rest of this short rest uninterrupted. And so we are going to pick up basically as you guys are waking up the next day. As is typical, you hear the like sort of not so distant screams of a hungry hill giant just whining and moaning to be fed. And you keep giving him food, so you're probably like conditioning him at this point to expect it. That's fine.
Can you use conjure food?
Yeah, so
Hello,
like,
Zach.
first thing in the morning, you can use your spell to conjure enough food to feed this hill giant for the day.
Yeah, just can you use one more?
Yeah, let me go ahead. We'll do that with your last third level slot.
Yeah. I'm gonna be so useful when we get there.
Well, I mean, you're still a tank, so just walk up and let them attack you.
All
Take
right.
it like a man.
So yeah, you have so that's your last third level slot. You have one more fourth level slot that you can create food with, but after that, you're kind of SOL on that one.
Yep. We need to start scavenge some food. See
For a hill giant? We're not going to get very far if we do that.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it's
Just give him a tree or two to eat. He says he eats trees.
He says he eats bark.
Yeah, so he you sort of like get him some of the food in the morning. He like shoves it all into his bag to eat throughout the day. And then he takes about maybe like 10 minutes or so to like he's squinting really hard and obviously like thinking really hard, trying to remember the way. And then eventually he just kind of points in a direction, begins lumbering off that way further into the hills. Those of you that have like sort of survival training and like know how to navigate, he's pointing somewhat northeast at this point.
At least it's pointing ish the same way time. Ish.
And you begin following, and now you're going deeper into the foothills at the base of the mountain. You can actually see, like, as you're traveling, you're getting kind of like closer and closer to the mountain range. And as this day sort of progresses, it's strange because whereas before the last few days have been somewhat active, at least there's been like ongoing trouble and all that. This day actually passes by pretty uneventfully as you're just like sort of lumbering through the hills. There are a few times where you see creatures, some like wild animals and the whatnot. They all seem to be like scared off by your kind of like lumbering giant companion as he's like pounding on the ground with every footstep. But you don't encounter anything particularly interesting or dangerous during that first day.
What's the biggest type of animals we see?
So here in like the foothills, the biggest type of animals you see,
People.
people, Probably like some sort of like birds or something. Nothing crazy. Most of the animals around here are probably like nocturnal
Like critters and the small shit.
or like burrowing shit. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sirak, how much longer can you sustain our big friend here?
2 days, probably. Way better if I can get there soon.
I can lend you the pole of power, which will allow you to replenish some of your magic. I say, looking at my wristband.
How often can you use that? How to plan it again?
Let's see, pole of power. Where is it? It's somewhere here.
I think it's a once a day thing.
You can action spell command, regain spell spell slot, expand slot low. Can be used against
For a long rest.
until next dawn.
Yeah.
Is it a third level spell?
Yes, it allows you to up to third level spell.
Why the fuck haven't I gotten that the first day? I didn't have to spend my fucking magic then. I could have spent it every fucking day and fucking.
Because I wasn't here. But
What do you mean? You've been here this entire time.
I just grabbed it out of his hand. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. I can do it every day now. Look at my character. I can do it every day
Do you
now.
count it dawn as per day or per long rest, Brad?
I mean, just because the rest rules have changed doesn't mean the laws of nature have changed.
No, but I'm thinking like if normally you count dawn as a long rest or something.
dawn is not long. Dawn is
Alright.
dawn.
So we can sustain him indefinitely now. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's out of the way.
Yes. Day 3, we figured out we could have done it.
I'm sorry. I wasn't here last session.
You were here when we left, didn't you? Huh? You were here. Fuck.
All right.
Okay, it replenishes spell slot.
Yeah, so you use it and it gives you back a third level or lower.
Okay, so basically, I get that back. So if I use it now, I still have that tomorrow.
You have to
Yeah.
attune to it first.
Yeah, you'll have to
Okay.
attune to it.
I will take 15 minutes and attune to the shit, and then I
I
will
think it's
use
1
it
hour.
to get. Yeah, for fuck's sake. Can I do that when we do the finish the long rest or whatever? And attune to it?
Yeah, if people want to
Yeah.
just like hang around for an hour while he attunes to it, yeah.
Or I can do it while we walk and just don't pay attention. Just lobbying around. Anyway, I'll attune
yes,
to it
you're
and use it and get a third level spell.
Sure thing. Yep. So yeah, you do that. And yeah, so at this point in time, you wake up again, sort of like feeding,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The burden.
feeding the burden, the hill giant, using this newfound ability of yours to replenish a spell slot every day. And he sort of again takes his typical like way too long to think of which way to go before eventually sort of lumbering off towards the east. He seems to be traveling along kind of like the base, like you're basically like right at the base of the mountains now. He seems to be like traveling kind of like along the base with the mountains like towering over you to your left as you're walking. And at this point you're going through like pretty rough terrain. It's actually kind of like difficult terrain for travel here, so you're not making anywhere near as much progress as you're navigating than you would usually.
Sirak is a little bit grumpy.
So yeah, as you guys are traveling through this day, Lob just kind of like lumbering up ahead of you. Eventually, you get to a point where there's like a low area amidst the hills in the base of the mountain, and you can actually see like a small kind of like clustering of trees here at the base of the mountain. These sort of like evergreen trees, and you can hear kind of like sounds of like a nearby stream or something of the likes. But Lob suddenly stops. Like, you've been kind of like following after him. It's about halfway through the day. He suddenly like stops, looking up ahead, and he says, "What that?" and points. And as you look, you can see up ahead in the distance, like over the top of the trees, what looks to be a tall tower made of white marble stone, towering over the trees up ahead, a couple of 100 feet tall, perhaps. It's quite a ways away, so you can kind of like just barely see it over the trees. And the top, the spire of this tower, rather than your typical sort of tiled like roof structure, seems to have been sculpted or molded to resemble this sort of like elaborate looking wizard's hat, this like purple wizard's hat, complete with a pattern of like gold stars and like golden crescent moons over the hat.
Nothing I can figure out if I roll a perception check extra.
No, you're still like pretty far away. It's about halfway through the day.
You mean you have not seen that before? I say in giant to Lob.
And he says, no, strange. Why building wear hat?
To protect itself from the sun, I imagine.
Morton, can you mute yourself while you're not talking?
Yes, and if you need a mental image of what the hat looks like, just like, you know, Mickey Mouse Sorcerer's Apprentice, like just super stereotypical like wizard hat.
Well,
That's strange. I feel like that's strange.
I feel like that should be right up your alley, Alexei.
Should we?
What? Really?
A tower shaped like a wizard's hat.
Should we investigate?
Brad, is there a history check or anything like that for this thing?
You can make a history check.
Hmm.
All right. So you would know, like, looking at the structure of the hat, based on what you see here, this particular style of hat fell out of fashion a long time ago, probably at least like a few centuries. Once upon a time, it was very popular. Many wizards and apprentices wore this sort of like high pointy hat with like star patterns on it. There were like different patterns and stuff. Every hat was kind of like personalized, but everyone realized they all looked ridiculous, and maybe about like 200 to 300 years ago, kind of like it fell out of fashion and people stopped wearing them. So whoever made this tower probably did so a long time ago when the hat was still, you know, popular.
Well, Alexei would probably say it's like, well, you know, the hat was an old-fashioned fashion for wizards and the like, but it wasn't really used for a long. It's not been used for a long time, at least a few centuries. So whoever did it is probably old-fashioned or did it a long time ago.
How far away did you say it was, ish?
Probably about a few miles still yet.
Should we investigate? I feel like that's worth investigating.
Yeah, why not? Might be something useful.
If it's on our path, we might as well go there. I mean, unless
Brad,
it
is it
takes us
similar to the one that we found on the way back from the woods that one time back to Luskin?
Holy shit.
What?
Zach's
Yes,
here.
I've been there for a while. He
here?
should have remembered.
That stone
No,
tower
so-
or totem thing?
No, so that was different. It seemed like different. That was more like a typical kind of like stone structure. This is like white marble, like still intact.
Okay.
Nothing looks similar from what you can see.
All right,
Wow.
let's let's have a look.
All right. So yeah, you continue forward towards this, and you enter kind of like into this, like I said, this sort of like sparse forest. It's not like a dense area. It's kind of sparsely populated with trees. And eventually you come up to this sort of creek, maybe about like 30 feet across or so. You can't really tell how deep it is, but it's definitely like crossable. There's a creek that kind of like runs through like a narrow depression, and then on the other side you can see now you're sort of like in the base through the trees. This massive tower again, like maybe like 200 feet tall or so. The base of which you can now see is parked on the other side of the creek. There's this sort of like billowy cloud-like material, kind of like around the base of the tower, and it seems to be parked outside of this sort of circle of like standing stones. However, you can't really like see inside. The tower is actually blocking much of your view, seeing as it's like just in front of you. But you can hear what sound like voices up ahead, having a conversation. There's several different voices. All of you can hear these sort of like deep, kind of like booming, bellowy voices. But Xeric, you can hear a softer voice, much more like softly spoken, kind of like a lower timbre.
Okay. There's a bunch of people having a chat over there.
Really?
I only
I
heard
can't hear
one.
anything.
And you can see like the tower. There's a central like base structure, and then there's like supporting arches that come off of it, and then those arches are sort of like landed on the ground. And there's like a little like kind of archway you can walk under.
Basically, but you say you can only hear one. Okay, that's probably the booming one. There's
Yeah, so
Something really voices.
everybody can hear like the loud sort of like deep voice. You
Yeah.
can't make out what it's saying, but everyone can hear it. You hear something that sounds like it's coming from a smaller creature.
that big thing is still talking to like a smaller creature as well. I can't make out what they're saying, but it's talking with someone, a smaller creature, like a gnome or something like that.
Perhaps Bjork and Lucas can have a look.
Is the chat they're having a nice one, or like an I'm trying to kill you chat?
You can't tell because you
Kind of.
can't actually like hear what they're saying.
Right.
I can't really make out what they're saying. I hear them talking. That's it.
Right, Tio.
Perhaps Lucas and Bjork could sneak closer and have a look
What?
as the more
Stealthy bunch?
dexterous
We could.
members of our party. All right.
Well, Bjork is okay with it. I'll go and he comes along. I'll go ahead too.
He says, "I'm willing to go scouting ahead."
Well, let's go.
All right. So you and Bjork go ahead to kind of like cross the stream, and maybe like scurry up the opposite bank and peer around to see what's going on in there. Go ahead and make me a stealth check.
Never cross the streams, man.
Let me open my sheet. I have yet to open it. Advantage.
Right, so you quickly make your way up to the outskirts of this stone circle, Brujork following shortly after, without really making a sound. You quickly kind of like push yourself up into the shadows made by this like massive tower, and looking out into the stone circle, you can see you're at the outskirts of it, probably about 100 feet. Like this is a big circle, about like 100 feet in towards the center of where this circle is. There's a stone monolith, like this sort of like spire that has been erected there. Standing to either side of the spire, you see sort of with their hands, their arms folded, two mottled gray-skinned giants that just seem to be standing guard. And past them, you see maybe about a dozen or so humanoid, like regular human-sized figures.
Like the one that we fought the other night.
Yeah, like very similar to that, dressed in this sort of like tribal garb, like bear skin gear and whatnot. And you see tied by chains to the monolith. This sort of like light pale skinned giant figure with this long billowy cloud-like beard coming down from his chin, sort of like long cloud billowy hair, and purple wizard robes with sort of like stars and moons patterned on them, and he's like chained to the monolith, and there's a small humanoid figure in front of him that is like grabbed him by the beard and is like screaming at him, although you still can't like make out what he's actually like saying. They appear to be like they appear to have like captured this giant.
Like make out as in I can't understand it.
Yeah, he's like shouting in a language you can't understand.
Oh, I have Helm of Comprehend languages. I can understand anything.
Yeah, well, you have to cast it.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that was I cast it.
Okay, yeah, you can cast
As long
it.
as I'm not really concentrating on anything else, I'll just keep that going.
I'm not gonna assume that you're gonna have it on all the time because it's concentration.
Yeah.
So so as you cast that, you hear you kind of like focus in a little bit. Again, you're still like pretty far away, but you can hear bits and pieces. He seems to be interrogating this giant about nearby like settlements. There's a thing where he's like, we know you've been flying over here. Where are the settlements located? The one that's doing this, you see in front, he is much larger and taller than the other figures. He looks to be maybe about like 6'5". He has sort of like long braided cornrow hair, blonde, that seems to like go down his back into these sort of like long braids. And he has a beard that is similarly like braided with metal clasps sort of in it. And he has this like large great axe on his back. And the giant is sort of like the giant that he's interrogating seems to have this sort of like 1,000-yard stare almost, and is actually like not replying at all. And you can see the figure is like getting mad. And one of the stone giants says, his mind is addled by something, it seems. And he says, some foul magics. I doubt we'll get the answers we seek here. We should go elsewhere.
Interesting. What does he say in return of them going elsewhere?
The humanoid figure says, I didn't ask your opinion, Jotun. And he says, this one, his tower, I saw it flying through the sky. He knows much about the surrounding land, I am sure. And he says, if he will not answer us now, we will just have to wait until he will.
Okay. So, like, the human guy seems to be in charge. Alright. Anything else interesting happen? I'll wait a couple more minutes to see if anything else interesting happens before I go back.
No, so at this point, they seem to sort of like the humanoids kind of like break away from the giants. The two stone giants like stay, like standing guard, holding the chains that are like tying him to the monolith. But the humanoids like back off and begin kind of like conversing amongst each other. Maybe it seems like they might be setting up like a camp or something to like wait out this guy like actually bothering to respond to them. But yeah, you see, like, you can see where you're from, that cloud giant has this just sort of like this kind of like dumbstrucken like look on his face, as if he's just like staring off into space.
Nothing I can really do to figure out why without getting closer, so I'll head back and report my findings.
All right.
I missed you, Lucas.
So there's like a couple giants over there and more of the I guess wildlings that we met the other night. But it seems they were interrogating another giant that they have chained to that stone monolith. And I'll also like describe the giants to them because I probably don't know what type of giants they are. Like one was like, I think one I would know as the stone giants, right?
Yeah, the ones with the mottled gray skin are the stone giants, and the one with the sort of like pale bluish kind of green skin was a cloud giant.
Yeah.
You have-
Would Lucas know that though?
You have met clouds.
I mean, you have met cloud giants and stone giants, so.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. It was some stone giants and a cloud giant. The cloud giant was the one that was chained to the monolith. He's wearing these like bright purple robes decorated with stars.
They're
How
very
many
old-fashioned.
The thing
How
was,
many-
it was the human that was interrogating or attempting to interrogate the cloud giant. The human seemed to be the one in charge.
How many were there?
Brad?
So there were probably around a dozen or so, like, humans, and then there were 2 stone giants.
There you go. A dozen humans or so, and only 2 of the stone giants. But the thing was, even with all this interrogation, the cloud giant wasn't answering. Something seems to have been wrong with him. He's not all there, it seems, in the head.
Like the giants the other night that messed with Alexei's and Sirik's mind.
Shudder.
Was it kind of the same as that?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was like that.
Giants.
Well, should we go help him, or should we just fuck off, or what you wanna?
Stone.
They were interrogating him about the layout of the land and settlements near here. Apparently,
There's probably
the
the
giant-
same reason that there were people who were looking for the relics, where me and Alexa got mind control. Probably they're looking for something. It's probably the same thing they're looking for.
Well, maybe if he's interrogating the giant, they're not on the same side, so maybe he's on our side. Maybe we should go try and
yeah.
treat with them.
Cloud giants have been friendly to us in the past. Thinking back to our previous encounters.
Considering those tribal men you described as the thing that just killed us, and stone giants has tried to kill us, and
And
older
stone
guy
giants
is being,
Just-
and the cloud giant is being interrogated, I think there's a bigger chance of the cloud giant being on our side than the tribal men.
Well, that's what I meant. But
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Lucas, when you're describing all of the figures, do you sort of like describe the figure that was interrogating the giant?
Yeah, I'll describe the one who seemed to be like in the lead here. A large man, like 6 foot, like well over 6 foot tall, and he seemed to have like these long, like blonde cornrows, like in his hair. And I think that's all I really got from him.
Yeah, so you like relay this description of this sort of like rather like Viking-looking man, and Alquil, this description is familiar to you.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
Feierskatt.
Is it the deer man?
What? D-man?
Deer.
Dear man.
The deer man.
who's
Dear
the deer man?
Who's the
Or
deer
am I remembering this wrong?
Who is it?
man? It can't be. Is it Rengor Bearheart?
Bearheart, that deer man.
You very well, obviously you haven't seen it for yourself, but the description matches up.
Fuck.
I look at Alquil like, this is the time to share with the class.
This is it's just like that description says. Nah, it couldn't be. Far too down south for
Is it good or is it bad or is it ugly?
bad. I'd say.
Okay, so we're taking the cloud giant side if we go in there and help.
Well, can we get some more information?
If it is who I think it is, it's Rengard Bearheart. He's the son of Wolfgar Bearheart, who was, perhaps still is, I'm not sure how politics still goes, king of the Uthgar Bear tribe. Or is it Reged Bear tribe? One of
It's the
those.
Reged
Yeah, the Reged Bear tribe. That's,
Well, there's a word I've not heard in a while.
but we're far down south for them to travel all the way here.
Well, it might just be him.
Might be.
Well, is it really bad? Should like take care of it, or is it one of those times where you can pass it and nothing bad is going to come from it?
He's an asshole. I'll give him that. He tried to kill me a few times.
Okay, we'll kill him. See what it is.
Why did he try Wait, why'd he try to kill you?
Because he's an asshole. As I've already established.
Is that like, the only reason, or did you?
Alexei, this is Alquill we're talking about. What other reason could there be?
I imagine Alquil's probably just like forgotten the reason by this point.
Yeah, at this
It's
point,
a,
because
it's a law. It's like an
so long-
ancient. It's like an ancient grudge that like both of you probably have no remembrance of like why it even started.
Yeah, because according to according to what's written here, it's something very ancient, very old. I don't know. We fucking hate each other. That's all.
So it's just
Fair
been like,
enough.
what do you bet? What do you bet? It was like something like really petty and like unimportant, and it's just escalated ever since. Like you stole my popcorn. Fuck you, asshole.
You
And
took
it's
my
just gone
dinner.
from there.
You took
I
my
will.
dinner or something. No, I was something that there. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I will say that you guys have encountered enough of the sort of like Uthgard that Lucas, you would have been able to tell like the rest of the sort of like tribesmen that were with him are definitely Uthgard. They're not Regedamen.
Okay, yeah, I'll explain that to like Alquil's. Like, are you sure it'd be this man you're looking for? All the other men that were with him were definitely the Uthgar.
So, I can't be sure without seeing it myself, but the description matches up.
So,
Do you want to go take a look yourself?
can't we just go there and
If I
get
could,
the cloud giant as well?
sneaking.
There's a lot of them there. I don't think we should fight them head on, Sirak.
I like do like magical wizard things and say magic.
What is the magical wizard things?
I can turn you invisible if you want to go have a look.
It's just,
You just have to take you off your armor to stay quiet, and you should be fine. Unless you go up there yelling.
Right, take off my armor, sure.
Don't let that old grudge you totally remember cloud your judgment, okay?
Yes.
I will
Well-
help him undon his armor.
I think I can bring two. I make 3 people invisible with a 3rd level spell slot, right? Or am I remembering that wrong?
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
get
So myself.
I'll get my breastplate out and put that on instead.
Alquill, if I might ponder an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard in my stories that sometimes one's old enemies can make great allies, especially if you've known each other for so long. I'm sure whatever you've done, it can't be that bad. Maybe you could make amends.
You're literally talking about that as chain a cloud giant.
Did you miss the part when I mentioned that that he's tried to kill me?
Well, yes, but you can still make amends from that.
I just quietly like hold my hand up in front of Alex's mouth and just like, let's go.
All I'm gonna say is diplomacy is an option.
Alexei, Alquill, do you want me to accompany you? If Lucas can turn both of us invisible.
Yes,
I
it's
can
like,
bring one more person along with us.
and yeah, could be. Might as well.
Alright, I'll undon my armor as well then. While
I
he's
will
doing it.
stay here because if something happens, at least I have my armor on and can take hits.
I also put on my breastplate armor.
Do I have any other armor?
All right. So who is going to go invisible? And who is going to stay with Lob? I guess in the back. Xeric is going to stay.
Yes.
I'm going
Yeah,
invisible.
so me, Alquill, and Lucas are going, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest the same behind.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Alexei and Xeric will sort of stay
Have
behind.
fun.
All right. So you do that. You sort of like change your armor over. Takes about like 10 minutes or so, and then Lucas sort of casts invisibility on the 3 of you, and you once again sort of like cross the stream, making your way past the tower. And now Alquill and Sir Elamir, you can see the sort of like same scene where there's this like circle of standing stones. seem ancient, like crumbled away. And then in the center, there's this like tall, sort of imposing kind of like marble monolith, to which is chained a cloud giant. There are two stone giants, sort of like holding the chains. And you can see that there's a most of the tribesmen seem to have like backed off towards the outskirts of the circle, opposite of where you're entering. But the one that was interrogating the cloud giant is still just sort of like pacing back and forth in front of him. And as you get a good look at him, Alquil, this time for sure, without a doubt, you know that this is Rengar.
Fuck. That's probably also
You're-
what says when like he sees Rengar.
You hear a voice in your head saying, "Diplomacy."
Yes, diplomacy. Grab
And then-
sword.
And then you have the older soldier like, fuck that shit up.
And again,
And you
you
hear
can hear
a real voice next to you. Kill him.
you hear a you hear one of the stone giants sort of say, "Calm down, Rengar. The dream will be restored to its rightful state in time." And Rengar's just like, "I don't care about that." And he's just like, "I've got a job to do." And yeah,
It's like all my enemies have come at once.
It's like Christmas.
Hands!
Yes.
It's
And,
like it's like Christmas. If Christmas is horrible.
and then the other giant says, "If we do not discover something soon, we will have to return. Thane Einar is looking for us."
Thane Einar?
Mm.
I see. I get the feeling from those noises that Thor recognizes this name. I think Alquil's having a bit of a fit right now, guys.
I think, shush, Quill, be quiet.
Why are
What
you
was-
drinking
what
stuff
was-
when we're
what was that?
invisible?
Did anyone hear that? Was there a noise? Rengar like turns to like look in your direction.
Quiet. Absolute quiet. Stand still.
Why are you saying be quiet? You were. Never mind.
You're not there. Shush.
Shut up, Alexei!
Become friends with him.
Okay, so
Alright.
Yeah, and at this point he says, well, if Arnyar's expecting us, this cloud giant doesn't seem like it's going to tell us anything soon. I'll gather up the Uthgard, and we'll head back.
So I say, whisper. All right. We need to take these guys before they leave, and preferably want one of them alive.
Sirak goes running through the woods. No.
That's like, yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to save that cloud giant and also deal with these Regget, Utgard, stone giants.
Well, it seems like you recognize them, so I'll take your word for it. Let's go back and arm ourselves, and then.
Yes.
So looking around, have others dispersed? Are there still like the 12 humans around?
They're still nearby, but they seem to have been sort of like moved off away from the center of the circle.
Okay.
And also you notice as you're kind of like looking around on the other side of the tower, as you like turn and look back, you see what appear to be a bunch of sort of like dead and like butchered griffins sort of like lying on the ground outside of the tower.
Human corpses?
No,
Or
griffins.
humanoid?
Griffins.
Oh,
Griffins.
alright.
Okay, now I want to kill shit.
Alright, we I guess we make our way back then after
Yeah, let's make our way back.
getting the lay of the land a bit. And read on our armor.
Sirak is stretching. He's getting ready.
You don't know.
He's not told us yet.
No, I know, but
The hairs on your back is standing up. It's fighting time.
It's fighting.
no, but I'm expecting to end in a fight. I mean,
I sense murder.
Mm.
just like
Alright, we come back and I don't know. I can't unturn myself invisible, but I start talking like this. All right, so it seems Alquil is recognizing more than a few names over there. So yeah, I can see you're already ready for this, Master Dwarf.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna break that storm giant or cloud giant free and see what's going on. Really.
Shield on, axe in hand. It's like, let's go.
It is definitely Rengar.
I see we're just going straight in.
Now we should, if possible, try to ambush them, take some out by surprise. Maybe without even causing an alarm.
Ambush is not my strong suit, I say, as I jump a little bit in my chainmail and
Yeah, I say it's not mine either, Sir Almer. But we are.
It certainly is mine. I'm short. I don't make a sound. Never mind.
I don't make a sound and you don't even move and your armor still makes a noise.
I mastered the ability to be invisible. I'm standing,
standing
so still. You can't
I would
see
say
me.
there are people here that have less than full hit points and hit dice to spend.
Yeah, that didn't do the short rest stuff. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We also got XP that I didn't add as well.
Yeah, same.
Thor,
How much
Yeah.
XP did we get?
260.
can you roll up my health? That's doable-ish.
Okay, what?
I think
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You are.
Yeah.
So he's at 46 out of 71.
Yes. I'm opening his character sheet, and he has 7 hit dice.
Yes.
How many do you want to spend?
Take 3.
So it was a short rest.
Yes.
I might as well use my arcane recovery to get my spell slots back.
Do I have 4,000 less than the others, or have I done something
To
wrong?
back up at 68 hit points.
No, you should be at the same amount as everyone else.
And my max is 71, isn't it?
71, yes.
Yeah, well, 3. That's fine.
So I'll copy what Alex says happened. So 28, 107.
Fair enough.
Alex, 28, 107?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what.
Alright, I'm 3 HP off of the max. There we go.
Oh, no.
Very good.
Think I'm ready to rock and roll.
Aye.
But I mean, not at all, because like whenever I go in a fight, it never seems to go well. But I'm ready to do something, I suppose.
Alright,
Yes.
I'm good to go.
Why are we always fighting when we're supposed to be done at work and have to drive home?
Brad has a very like strict story beat progression that he goes for.
Yeah, it's always the end is the fight, and that's when I have to go.
So yes, you guys all gather up, gather around, and cross the river. Are you going to? What are you gonna? In the meantime, what are you telling Lob to do?
Alright.
It's gonna take care of it.
Yes.
Can we say Log like guard this tree or something so he doesn't leave?
Lob,
No, but-
this is Podrick. He is not food. Stay here with him and guard this here tree. It's a very important tree.
Why don't bring him into combat?
Sure. Yeah. So you just tell him to stand around.
Yeah.
Yep. This is
Did you just say bring him in combat?
I said, yeah, why don't we just bring him into combat?
So you're like, hey, let's ambush these guys, and then we'll bring Lob.
No, oh yeah. Good point.
You got like your mouth was like salivating at the thought of having a giant on your side for that you lost sight of the plan.
There is no plan anymore. There is only fight.
Look, giants are known to do very good crits. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Don't bring that up. That fucking cunt.
Oh, man. All right, so I guess what is your plan? Are you going to try to like be stealthy and sneak up, or are you just going to charge in?
Had the two stone giants left, or are they still hands crossed guarding?
They are still there, sort of like holding the chains, and they're having this. They seem to be
Some of
having
the
this
longbow.
conversation with the human that has been identified as Rengar. They seem to be having like a back and forth. They're not like shouting though, however, so you can't really like hear what they're saying. But there's like a back and forth between them that's going on.
Alexei,
Hello.
do you have any kind of magic that you will be able to block certain passages, or to keep people away?
And I
Block
will
passages? You mean like corridors?
Yeah, or something of the like.
Well, I don't have anything that can block it, but I can apply grease so that it's more slippery.
I was thinking if we could attack the giants and this fella that Elquil knows, and block out the tribes people from getting into us before we can finish the job, finish the giants.
Brad.
What?
I don't think there's much I can do about that. Sorry.
This... Why do the tokens look really weird? Like I'm so squished.
Because
Is that all
they're
it-
tiny.
Because the squares are much smaller if you look at the map.
It's because I didn't want to make the map much bigger, so I made the squares smaller.
Fair enough. So is that like 151 feet away? What is this over here?
Over there,
Here.
that's like a crumbled sort of like stone archway. The top portion is sort of collapsed down, and it's sort of like this is like almost like this ramp of stones that kind of like goes up.
Okay, and I'm assuming this is like a hill over here to this tower thing.
Yeah, so there's
Or
like a this sort of like cloud like material at the base of the tower, which is maybe like a 10-foot like up. But otherwise, this is kind of like all flat land.
I'm trying to find a good like vantage point for like shooting these guys with a bow and arrow.
This one is
Maybe on these rocks here.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking. Is the I'm guessing is this a closed door?
The door is not closed. They
Is
are
it
open.
giant sized?
It is giant sized, yes.
I'm thinking maybe if we can attract their attention, we can get them inside of that tower there. At least the giants and... Sorry, what was the guy's name?
Rengar.
Rengar. And that way we could have like a choke point to find them in, either if we are in the tower or if we get them in the tower and attack them from the rear.
Not a bad idea to have that choke point there.
If we're in the tower, I don't think there's going to be any way for us to escape. I don't know.
No, but I don't believe they'd be able to push past us. If we can somehow deal with the giants, the tribes people would not be a problem in that choke point, especially with Alexei's fire magic.
All right, so yeah, sneak into the tower and start blasting them with ranged attacks.
Or try to make a noise to have them investigate. Perhaps, I don't know how that would work, but if Lucas could stay outside, maybe stay hidden while shooting them with arrows.
I can't really stay hidden while shooting.
Can I just come in here? If I run through the door, I can block the door. Walls of stone.
Oh, well, that's kind of what I was asking before, if we had anything to block anyone off.
You
could have piped in
that.
that.
Didn't ask me. You asked for, not me. Here I am. I can make-
No, I asked Alexei.
Yes, exactly. You didn't ask me. My name isn't Alexei.
Then
I can make a.
who are you?
I can stone shape a stone door if needed.
All right.
Fight
Big enough to cover
Shaping
a
up like a
giant-sized
plan.
door.
I can make it 5 feet, but that will block in like tunnel way more.
Lucas, do you need your magic resource for anything during a fight, or can you use it again to make some of us invisible?
I mean, I would like it during the fight, but it's not needed.
Because I'm thinking we could, if you could make me, Alquil, and maybe, yeah, at least me and Alquil. We're not, maybe Sirak as well. If you could turn us invisible, so we can go into the tower, and then you guys pretend like you're trying to sneak in. They see you, and come to investigate. And then once they are either inside or on their way in, we attack them and block them off from the humans, from tribes people.
Sure.
They're moving. They're moving upwards. We have to go quickly.
Lucas, it's up to you.
I mean, is everyone okay with this plan?
Sure.
We don't have time. We don't have time to discuss.
All right, we're going. Okay, no stealth. Save it. We'll all pretend like we're sneaking in. And okay, Sirak and Alquil, us three, we're going first,
All right. Let's go.
All right, so
and we start moving.
You go running in. Yeah. So as you start moving in, you could see that the tribespeople are sort of like backing off into the forest and leaving. Rengar seems to be shouting orders at them. They leave. He's sort of like staying behind a bit. So you charge in, not invisible or anything like that.
We don't charge. We pretend like we're trying to sneak, but we're not
trying
actually.
to sneak. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you make your way into the center, you get about where you are there before one of the stone giants sort of like notices you, and he says, "Rengar, we have visitors, small folk." And you can see Rengar sort of like turns and begins sort of like walking up to like get a look, walking
Maybe
up
we
from
should
behind.
try diplomacy.
And
That's what I was saying.
And he
I mean, they
shouts.
didn't outright attack.
And he shouts, "You there! What business do you have? Shove off!"
All right. I look at Sir Alamir.
Okay, it seems like my plan was for Nye.
Why are we picking a fight for no reason? I'm just confused all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
See, right? That's what I was saying.
Okay.
It's Rengar and the stone giants, and but anyway.
I just look at Alco real quick. Okay, it's up to you. Do you wanna like whisper talking?
Do you want us to fight your old grudge?
Yeah. Do you wanna just take him out? We don't have to kill him. We can just take him down.
Can take him out. I look over at Rengar and I say, I shout out. Do I have that language? No, I don't have his language. Well, I guess we're just speaking common.
Thanks.
So I
That's
say,
my Homer comprehend languages, by the way.
Rengar, you son of a badger! What are you doing so far south?
Yeah, so you step forward, like shouting that.
Yes.
And yeah, you see he sort of like looks at you, like smirks, and he's like, "Oh, Quill, it's been a long time. What are you doing here? Little far from home, aren't you?"
Could
That's
say
what
the
I
same
just
thing.
said.
Yes, that is what I just asked you.
And he says, "Well, after you bastards ruined our plans, I had to get a change of scenery." He says, "Besides, I was exiled for my failure. And it's all your fault."
Cry me a river.
And he
That's,
says, "But Never mind them. I have a new family now.
Oh, do tell.
And, yeah, so he says, he says, these weaklings to the south were easy to conquer. I am their king now.
I says, congratulations, your badgeness. He says. So what are you?
How close terrible insults.
But no, he called him son of a badger before.
I know. That's
It's on the badger line there.
Yes,
shut up, Mike.
He's keeping it consistent.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mike. I says, so what's the great plan? I says, why are you consulting with the filth of these? And I gesture towards like stone giants.
And, he just sort of says, I'm only doing what I'm told. He says, we are going to disassemble civilization stone by stone. A punishment for what they've done.
You know who does what they're told?
Ah.
Lackeys.
So the king is no king after all. once a slave to the Ice Witch, now a slave to somebody else. Sounds powerful, right?
And he says, I'd rather a slave than be dead. And he says, that man.
And what
Even
man
I
would
could not fight him.
What man would that be?
And he just sort of smirks. Kessel.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Doesn't
I was-
nobody fucking stay dead anymore?
I was wondering when that name would come back.
Right, so you're working with Akkar Castle, which means you're also working with the pirates, which means you're also working with those deformed giants, which means... Is Castle just running all the giants these days?
Rengar just sort of like shrugs and says, I don't know. He just sent me to work with the stone giants.
I see. I
Like
see.
the lapdog you are, you obeyed.
I thought we were sticking to the badger line.
Like the lap badger you are, you obeyed.
And he sort of smirks and he's like, perhaps in the past I would have responded to your infantile provocations, but for now I've business to attend to. If you really wish to die, you can try to come and fight me, but I would suggest you back off.
So adult of him.
So it's like,
A grown badger.
Yeah, big badger.
a dire badger. It's like a badger. It's just like, I would not ask that you release the cloud giant.
He just sort of says, that can be arranged. Useless he is. Can barely even speak a sentence.
I'm gonna look at Lucas and try to convey go, do it.
Do what? What the fuck do you want me to do?
Shoot him! Go
just
badger
shrug.
hunting or something.
I shrug and I whatever. I fire a longbow shot at the fucking guy.
Did the-
Lucas, what are you shooting when you brawl already?
Oh my god.
it's just like,
How are we doing this?
what the fuck?
He literally said, if you want to die, come blah blah blah. Okay.
So what, you want to die? Is that what I'm getting from this?
Yes!
He just shouted, shoot him. They're like, okay.
What?
All right.
What are you no. Then he's already
Everybody
shot.
roll for initiative.
I'm assuming that shot actually doesn't go off.
No, yeah, because as soon as you step forward to go to shoot, then
I don't even step
you're
forward.
not
Just do
you're
what I'm
not
saying.
hidden or anything. You're taking a shot.
I
in
raise the
plain sight.
bow.
So
It's just like I was just so I was like no, do
Oh
it.
my
Like,
god.
Lucas is like, do what? And it's like, shoot him! What? Shoot him! What? And then just rolls.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, probably.
Alquil, we're fucking owning.
Oh yes, we are.
Fucking nat
Alright.
20.
let's see. Alexei. Here she is. Initiative.
How far is it? It's 130 feet.
Oh wow, I got a high initiative as well.
Good. Bring me closer.
Alexei, Zurich.
Oh my
Let me,
god.
Lucas,
Well,
that's everybody.
I'll dimension door you right on top of him.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
I don't really want to be up there in melee though.
I don't know. Let's see. What can I do?
Second.
I mean, if I had my longsword out, I would, but I don't.
Isn't the dimension door a bonus section?
No.
No, it's an
Ah.
action.
You know how unstoppable I would have been in Curse of Strahd if, like, that was a bonus action?
Shoot! Bonus action and teleport. Shoot!
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
What are you doing?
He's too far away.
And cast fly on him.
I wanted to hit him with my sword. All right, I guess we're doing this.
I guess we are.
Alright. I like Alquil to go first.
Yes, I am running up.
Also, get rid of these drawings.
Yes.
There we go.
70 feet? No! Why is it 70 feet? hang on. Let me... Can I just control... Nope. I was there, I believe.
Oh wow, like measurements are weird. It's like point.
Yeah.
Your point.
It's always point, like, with 3.
It's third...
It's
Oh,
only
yeah.
when you go like really far distances or whatever because of the scaling of the grid. So if you
Okay.
if you go at diagonals, it starts doing like point or whatever. But if you go straight lines, it's
Right.
but just round to the nearest 5 or whatever.
Right. What's the distance of that? That's also 60 feet.
Oh my god, 4. Come on.
Everything I have is 60 feet. Damn it. Alright, 30 feet. Fine. Misty step. And Misty steps into here. Poof.